Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. Today, I want to give you my top 5 most disappointing stocks in 2021. This week will be a reflection week. We'll talk about things that went well, things that didn't go well, some lessons that we learned this year, and then obviously we'll cap off the year with looking forward to 2022. But first, let's talk about some mistakes, some things that just didn't pan out the way that I expected them to. I have my list here. And I've got 5, I really got 6 that I'll give you. And then talk about what we thought at the time, why things didn't go the way we expected, and see what we can do better for 2022. Again, so we're going to discuss the losses first and, take it from there. So what I did, what I do for my students is every single month I come out with a brand new watch list, usually 15 to 20 stocks. And I went all the way back to January, took January's biggest disappointments, and I also went to June because, for me, I say you hold it for 6 months, you come back and reevaluate. Just because you reevaluate doesn't mean you sell. You actually see 2 examples on this list where I wouldn't have sold, but probably should have. So looking back on it, things are always easier, but I also want to be transparent. It's like, hey, look, you're not always going to be perfect. These are 5, really 6 out of technically 40 stocks. So we're good, right? Nothing terrible happened, but what you think right now, and myself included since I am not perfect, but what you think right now at the end of 2021 might not be true come 2022, even though you have a lot of faith and confidence and research behind you, and even if you had great returns the previous year too, because as you'll see, as I'll kind of walk this out and explain it, you'll see that a lot of these, anybody would have picked these stocks. Anybody would have picked these stocks, and a lot of people did. So let's start off with PayPal. PayPal was a company that I did a video right around this time. I bought Square. I bought PayPal for my son, which, if I buy it for the kids, I believe in it. And it's down 18% year to date for 2021, but it was up 160% in 2020. And the case was, and it's the exact same thing for Square, the case was things are going to be online. People are going to spend more money online. And that was the case. That's still true. And from the numbers we had just a few months ago, it was supposed to be the biggest retail season that we had. And unless that has been debunked, which I have not seen a whole bunch debunking that, things should be fine. But that was not the case for either PayPal or Square. I'm looking here, Square, which is also on the list, is technically 2 of those. Square was up 253% in 2020. So my thought was, let's say that both of these stocks disappoint. Okay, let's say they do half. If you did half of what you did in 2020, I would be okay with that. I'll take 80% gains if I'm PayPal. I'll take, 125% gain if we're talking about Square. No, that's not what happened. But the weird thing was, it wasn't like this all year. I'm looking here, Square is down 22% on the year. But again, if I go back and look at the chart, and you can do this on Yahoo Finance or Public or Robinhood or wherever you want, you'll see that both of these companies started off well. I was up 30% at one point in Square, but right around July or so, that's when things just didn't go well and just continued to tank. And now we're down 22% for Square and 18% for PayPal. You go from 160% and 153% for PayPal and Square respectively, and you're both in the negative in 2021, even though I don't think things got worse for the company. I haven't seen any financial data or any seismic shifts, like what new player came into the space that wasn't there. I don't know. Crypto is not the answer, because both of these platforms offer crypto in some ways. People are still at home. COVID is still here to a degree. Even if it wasn't, you still have the kiosk for both PayPal and Square for people to spend money on. I don't know. I don't know. But those are 2 of the most disappointing. I don't see anything that's going to stop me from getting rid of Square at the end of this month. It's been 6 months. It's really been a year, because I got it around this time last year. And I gave it time. It started off great, didn't end up well. I think I can find something that does better than negative 22%. I think that's a little easy for me. So we'll see. So that's 2 of them. One that falls into this category too is Visa. Visa was up 36% last year, and it's actually down. And I pulled these numbers at like noon-ish today, so they could be a bit off. But Visa is down 0.57%. So is barely negative, but it's still negative. For context, I should have said this at the beginning, for context in 2020, stock market was up about 14% and up 27% year to date. And again, it could be slightly higher by the time you watch this video, or the time I'm recording rather, in 2021. So it's underperformed severely, but it did really well last year. And again, just like PayPal, just like Square, Visa ain't going out of business. They haven't had any financial struggles that I'm aware of. I'm still swiping my card at the gas station, which is higher now, right? And that's the thing too. All of these companies should have benefited from inflation, because if I'm charging you 1% on $100 and now that thing is $105, $110, I'm still getting paid more. So again, in my view, shouldn't have been a reason for this company to dip. Again, it's a slight dip. From 36% to negative 0.57 is a severe dip. But in terms of being negative, it's barely negative. There is still a chance for Visa to end the year in the positive. I don't know if it will. I personally don't care because I do not own Visa in this case. But that's not something that I would have foresaw. I would have saw Visa as a safety stock, whereas Square and PayPal would have been more of an aggressive, like I need to make more money now. I definitely thought that would have been the case. Even though for the 3 Ds, I can't sit here and tell you why they're negative. I've been looking for the better part of 3 weeks. Someone that commented, like, hey, why do you think payment stocks are down? I don't know, bruh. I don't know. I've been looking and still can't find the answer. So those are 3. I've got 3 left, and it kind of logged me out. All right, so we talked about PayPal, we talked about Visa, we talked about Square. The next one is Colgate Palmolive. That is ticker symbol CL. Should have did ticker symbols for all these, but I think you know them by now. This is, they make the toothpaste and all the other things that we need and use, which again, I was thinking defense here, because you never really know what's going to go on in the market, especially when you're projecting a year out, even 6 months for that matter. But from looking a year out, I'm like, people are still going to buy toothpaste, right? Like that shouldn't really, we shouldn't really suffer that much. It was up 24% last year, over 10% over what the average was. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I shouldn't lose money here. I don't expect to make 100%. I don't expect to get rich off of something like CL, but I didn't expect to lose. And this year so far is down 2%. Again, not the worst thing in the world. Still a dip from 24 to -2, but that one's down. Yeah, you don't love it. Is it something I would hold? Probably. If you told me if I had to pick which companies to hold, which ones to let go of, I could see myself holding. Now, I didn't own Visa or Colgate, but given what we have here, I'd hold it. I don't think either, not a single company we're going to mention today is going to go out of business. I don't think that. But the question is not whether these are going to go out of business. It's, can I find something better? Can I cut my losses and go and get something that can recover and make more money now? That's the question I'm asking here. Yes, I think you can find something better than Visa, maybe. Yes, you can find something better than Colgate. It's just, these are probably solid holds, whereas I'm ready and willing to get rid of Square, ready and willing to get rid of PayPal. I'm just waiting until the last day of the year, not because of some magic thing. It's just I wait until the end, I do all my research, and my DCA day is on Friday. It just happens that Friday is the last day of the year. So it just worked out that way. Magic. All right, next one. Big shocker for me, Amazon. Amazon really disappointed. And there's another one where I'm like, but why though? Because Amazon was up 72% in 2020. 72% in 2020, okay? And it is negative. I'm sorry, it's not negative. It's not negative. It is up only 4%. So even though you didn't lose money per se here, you didn't get anywhere close to what was supposed to happen or what did happen last year. And again, this is, what happened last year is last year. We always say that past results do not predict, past results do not predict the future, which is fine, right? That's fine. I didn't expect to get home and get exactly 72% or even close to that, but I didn't expect to get 4. 4? That's it for one of the world's largest companies, and in a space where people are still spending money online. Amazon was rated one of the best for getting things to people, and whereas a lot of people had shipping delays, and what was the the supply chain issue, all that kind of stuff, it seemed like it was affecting everybody but Amazon. I didn't have a single package delayed until today. Literally today was the first time I ever had a package that was late from Amazon during this whole COVID crisis, COVID crisis and supply chain issues. This was the first time all year long Amazon had not missed. That tells me that you should have been doing better than 4%. They were even in the Revlon deal. They bought MGM Grand, not MGM Grand, they bought MGM Studios. They had been streaming movies. Now other than the fact they did change CEOs this year, there's that. That maybe that had something to do with it, but I don't see 4% was disappointing. I'm sorry, I didn't lose money, which is great. I'm still holding it. I will continue to hold Amazon until something catastrophic happens. But I didn't see 4%. Like, that's not, especially when the market is up 27. This is trash. All of these are trash, actually. This is why they're on the list. But no way you would have told me that Amazon was only going to get you 4% in a year where the market is up 27. That didn't make sense to me. But it is what it is. Numbers are the numbers. All right, last one here is Disney. I was afraid of Disney for this exact reason, because I got burned. I've talked about this before probably. If not, we'll do a video on that. But I got burned on Disney in the past for holding it for like 5 years in the worst 5-year span where they did absolutely nothing. Disney was up 24%. I'm double checking here. They're up 24% in 2020 and they're down 15% this year. Losing momentum in Disney Plus. They expected, they exploded on the scene last year in a pandemic where everybody was locked down anyway. And then this year it's like, well, you got everybody. You're not growing in the places that we thought you would. Disney says they're looking towards the metaverse, which is fine. They say they're going to grow internationally, which is fine, except that in international markets like India, perhaps China and other places, the concern is, well, they're not going to spend as much money. It's not as profitable in those places than where it is here. Fine, makes sense. But positively, Spider-Man No Way Home was amazing. Shang-Chi was amazing. Turns was trash. That's a topic for another day. But anyway, I didn't expect stellar numbers from Disney. I saw this again as a defensive stock. The way I try to arrange my portfolio is, here are some names I know I can rely on. Normally this is Apple, Amazon, Google. Amazon wasn't on there this year. And then I had some defensive things to say, okay, well, if the market doesn't do well, at least I'll have a Colgate. At least I'll have a Costco. Colgate, CL, didn't do well, Costco did. So you try and balance those things out and hopefully be more right than you are wrong. And we'll talk about some of the ones that did extremely well, probably tomorrow, definitely at some point this week. But these are my top 5, really 6. Top 5 just feels better than top 6. But just the most disappointing, I don't know, like outside of Amazon, I wouldn't be excited to hold or buy more of anything on this list until I find out. Like I still don't know why PayPal and Square, even Visa, are down the way they are. If you want to kind of buy low, I might go with the most reliable thing. That's probably Visa here. Outside of Amazon, like I'm DCAing in Amazon. That's a no-brainer for me. They've done way more good in terms of returns for investors than it has this terrible 4%. So there's that. So of these, I like Amazon the most, maybe Visa after that. The rest of them, you can throw them away. You guys can throw them away. Thankfully it was only 6, because remember, I do close to 15 to 20 of these every single month. A lot of times these do carry over, which is great for the ones that work. Then some of them absolutely get dropped, which as you go through the list, if you are a student, you see that happen. All right, so these are my top 5. I know 6. Top 5 most disappointing investments. Let me know what you think. What are your most disappointing investments this year? We're going to talk about the mistakes, and then we're going to celebrate our wins tomorrow. Okay, so let me know what your biggest disappointing stocks are. If you want to learn more about the Investors Toolkit, make sure that you click the link below, buildingred.com/tools. I give you my entire investing process, including my monthly stock list. And the way I like to describe it is the simplest investing course, period. Just flat out. You want to learn options? I got you. You want to learn trading? I got you. You want to learn long-term investing and the process that I use to find these stocks, to evaluate them? all that stuff is rolled in, and there's a special bonus. There's a special bonus in 2021 where you're going to get the cram review for free if you sign up for the Investor Toolkit. So it'll be an added benefit to those who sign up for the course. So make sure that you get that, buildingbread.com/tools. And that's it for me. Talk to you guys tomorrow.